What's up, Africa, and a happy Africa Day to you all. Welcome to a specially themed episode of NafunaNOW, jam-packed with variety. Now, since it's Africa Day, we're going to be doing things a little different. We're going to be commemorating Africa Day by celebrating our own. I'll be giving a rundown on some of Africa's most influential and successful people in business, and Lance will be letting you in on some of the interesting facts about African sport. Ora will be letting you in on some of the wow facts about Africa. And later, we'll even hear about what you have to say about Africa Day, so stay tuned. Let's take a look at some of Africa's influential and successful people in business. Topping the list is Aliko Dangote. Aliko Dangote is the founder of Dangote Cement, the continent's largest cement producer, launched in 5 African countries, making him the richest man in Africa and the 67th richest man in the world. Next is Isabel dos Santos. Isabel dos Santos is the oldest daughter of Angola's longtime president and has multiple investments in Portugal and Angola. A total of 43 investments have ranked her 8th in the Forbes list of Africa's richest people and the richest woman in Africa. This alone sets her apart as an inspiration to many women, representing women in a male-dominated list. Next is Strive Masiwa from Zimbabwe. Strive Masiwa is the executive chairman and founder of the Econet Group, a privately held diversified telecoms group with operations and multiple investments. Strive has influenced many with his story of endurance and resilience in the journey to establish what is now Zimbabwe's most successful telecoms company, Econet Wireless. Next is Mrs. F. Alakija. Mrs. Alakija is the second richest woman in Africa, ranking number 13 in the Forbes list of richest people in Africa. Mrs. Alakija is well known for being a woman who dominates male industries successfully. She started off in the fashion industry and set up related businesses such as the Rose of Sharon Prints and Promotions, the Digital Reality Print Limited, which specializes in highly technical digital large format printing, making her the only female in the industry in Nigeria to date. Ever the exceptional and empowered lady, she is also the executive vice chairman of her family's oil business, Famfa Oil. And lastly, we have Zimbabwe's very own Divine Lukuga, founder and managing director of Zimbabwe's first ISO certified security company, Securico. Divine Lukuga has risen above all odds of life to make her company a success. While setting up her business in a male-dominated industry was no cakewalk for Divine, she has taken her company within 15 years of the highs she's dreamt of.
Thanks, Karen, for that informative list. Now, in the world of sport, we are going to give you one of the best African stories of what happened in our continent that made the African continent a powerful sporting house. In 2007 was the best year in African rugby history as the South African rugby team, also known as the Springboks, won the Webb Ellis Trophy and winning the Rugby World Cup twice in their history as Captain John Smith lifted the trophy. In 2010, South Africa also managed to host the FIFA World Cup, which was the first time the big soccer tournament was being hosted in Africa. As the games progressed, the first match of the tournament, Sipiwe Chabalala was the first player to score a goal for the tournament against Mexico. In swimming, our very own Zimbabwean Kirsty Coventry was one of the famous medalists who won more than 2 medals in the Olympic Games that took place in Beijing. The Zimbabwean athlete managed to bring 1 gold and 2 silver medals home. In soccer, former Ivory Coast and Chelsea striker Didier Drogba became one of the most famous African footballers in the continent, with other players such as Samuel Eto'o and current Manchester City midfielder Yaya Toure, along with his brother Kolo Toure.
Thank you, Lance, for those awesome facts about African sports. Happy Africa Day, guys. I'm going to be sharing with you Nafuna's top 5 wow facts about Africa. Fact number 1. Christian Neethling Barnard was a South African cardiac surgeon who performed the world's first successful human-to-human heart transplant at the Groote Schuur Hospital in Cape Town. Number 2. Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is the world's first elected black female president and Africa's first elected female head of state. Number 3. Ethiopia was never colonized by a European power in the context of the 19th century scramble for Africa. However, Ethiopia was eventually occupied by Italians in 1936 after failed attempts to occupy Ethiopia in 1893. Number 4. The invention of mathematics is placed firmly in African prehistory. Many of the math concepts that are learned in school today are also developed in Africa. Over 35,000 years ago, ancient Egyptians scripted textbooks about math that included division and multiplication of fractions, and geometric formulas to calculate the area and volume of shapes. Number 5. Arthur Zhang, a 24-year-old Cameroonian engineer, invented the CardioPad, a touchscreen medical tablet that enables heart examination to be performed at remote, rural locations, while the results of the test are transferred wirelessly to specialists who can interpret them. A According to a Forbes article, the reliability of the pad device is as high as 97.5%. This is known to be possibly one of the greatest technological inventions in Africa. Those are just some of the incredible facts we have about Africa. You can share some more of your own using the hashtag #NNAfricaDay. We took to the streets to find out what you think about Africa. Take a look.
I'm really proud to be African for various reasons, but the main one being that Africans have helped build America, Africans have helped build Europe. There's a resilience that comes with being an African, and I'm really proud of our legacy.
I arrived in Africa about 10 days ago. I flew in from Dubai, and I live in the UK. This is my first time in Africa, and it's a shock. It took me about a week to get used to the roads, the weather. It's so warm, it's so beautiful here. Happy Africa Day, Africa!
The African, the fact that it's a continent that is so rich in culture, nations. There are a lot of people, you might have the same skin tone, but behind that, besides that, if you look into it, there's a lot more detail behind it. You can split it up into country, and then from country into tribes, from tribes into languages, and then from those languages you also have like your totems. And to be honest, this is one of the continents that I've traveled and been to where the people are so proud of the culture. You can go to a different country, the people will accept you, we're so friendly. You go to other continents like America and Europe, and you don't get as much love, even as a foreigner. Some people can spot that you're foreign, but even if in Africa, regardless of that, they accept you to have so much love. And the people are so much more friendlier out here. And they're willing to share about the culture, traditions, and we're genuinely excited when we meet foreign people because we like to learn about their cultures and we like to teach them our cultures and traditions, languages, and things like that.
I believe Africa is a great place for you and me. I believe Africa has got a lot of rich resources that we can all yield from. And at the end of the day, being African to me means that we have a lot to offer.
I'm proud of the potential that we have as a continent to grow because there's a lot of undeveloped potential in terms of talent, in terms of resources, in terms of what we can do as a continent if we just come together and just, be one. So, happy Africa Day.
That's all we have for you for this awesome Africa Day episode. We hope that you enjoyed it. And again, remember to share your thoughts with us using the hashtag NafunaNOW and hashtag #NNAfricaDay. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms and visit our website, nafuna.tv, for more awesome videos. For now, goodbye.